Jealousy is a disease. Altogether now. Jealousy is a disease. Okay? People who are constantly preying on your downfall, people who hate to see you coming because they know wherever you go, you're going to bring all kinds of attention. You're going to leave a sparkle when you walk out. You are going to be that bitch in every place you go to. They hate to see you coming because they know how capable you are. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like, I haven't been jealous before. I have definitely been jealous of people before. And jealous for the most craziest reasons, right? But there's a difference between me and how I handle my jealousy and others who handle their jealousy. Let me tell you something. When you are feeling jealous of somebody, that is your chance to sit and reflect and, think about, why am I jealous? What is it about them that makes them so special in my eyes? And what makes me so different? And what is it exactly that I'm jealous of and why do I want that so bad? When you think about that, right? When you reflect on your jealousy turns into admiration. Your jealousy turns into, like, maybe I should look at this person more of it as an example instead of competition, or more as a mentor than an enemy. And that is exactly what I do when I catch myself feeling a little jealous. That way, I will never feel in competition with other people. When I feel like somebody has something that I really want, I'm like, you know what, good for you. And now I'm going to work towards that because that's something I really want. It's not something I want to take from you though, because you know, I believe that there's enough space for me. It doesn't matter if someone else is in that space, there will be a spot for me as well, as long as I work for it. And that is why I'm here. That's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about, how to deal with people being jealous of you, how to deal with that evil eye, those green eyes, some might say. And by some, I mean Erica Badu. If you know, you know. Remember this. You know you're that bitch when you cause all this conversation. Wise words by Beyonce, the queen. What does this mean though? That I know you're listening to Formation, you're like, hey, but actually listen to what B is saying. Because if you weren't interesting, if you didn't have something special about you, people wouldn't bother talking about you. People would not bother talking about you. And, I know a lot of people feel that, oh, it doesn't matter if they're talking about you negatively or positively, like, you stay relevant. That's all that matters. I don't necessarily agree with that. That's not what I'm saying. I do feel like if, people are saying the same thing about you and it's actually something negative that comes for your actual character as a human being, that's something you need to actually pay attention to. But when it's like stupid things like, oh, she thinks she's all that, she's so full of herself, or oh, she thinks she's better than everyone, and it's something that you never said, it's something that you never did anything to make people feel that way, you're just existing and people are talking shit, that's how you know you're doing something right. And babe, trust me, I've been there. When I was in high school, I had students and teachers talking shit. I used to go into school, I would make my shitty, boring uniform into something fabulous, into something that fits my body, something that stands out from the rest of the people, which is something that no one else had the confidence to do, even though it's something so easy. Like, bitch, just throw on some good accessories, get you a cute bag, doesn't have to be expensive, and then there you go. You know, I had the confidence to do that. And that shook a lot of people. That made a lot of people uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, I graduated with 3 cool titles. Now, I'm not going to carry this for the rest of my life and brag about it for the rest of my life because it's not like my peak. But it does prove that you stay authentic, you stay true to yourself, and you don't give a shit about what other people are saying to you, you're going to leave that school graduating with most likely to be famous, best dressed, and most likely to be an influencer. And I won the most titles in my class because I didn't give a fuck what other people thought. I didn't. People, I'm just like, okay, you're jealous. Okay, you're uncomfortable because I'm doing something you could never do. That's your problem. It's not mine. I knew I was that bitch because I was in everyone's mouth, whether I was in the room or outside the room, whether it was in school or out of school. It didn't matter. Okay, I was relevant to everybody because they were so worried about what I was doing instead of just trying to get to that same level and seeing me as inspiration. And to the ones who did support me, and to the ones who complimented me, to the ones who applauded me and just minded their business without talking down on me, they're doing well. Okay, I see y'all and I love y'all. Y'all are great, and you guys are my girls, my and maybe guys. But I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Because there's always going to be those people who get you, and those are the people you need to look for. Not look for it. You let them come to you, but those are the people who you pay attention to. You can appreciate that. That's the only thing you should be worrying about. The people who actually care. Everyone else is just background noise. Okay. Two. What are we going to do when this jealousy or things like that get in between your relationships, like your friendships, romantic relationships, whatever the case may be? Sometimes our best friends are jealous of us. Sometimes our literal partners are jealous of us. And sometimes it's your own family. It can be your own mom. And that one's got to be the worst, I bet. What do we do in this situation? It's basically the same as it will be in school or at work when it's just random students, teachers, whoever just talking shit. Sometimes it's a bit more difficult when it's a family member because that's someone you might live with, someone who you might depend on financially. I'm gonna get into that, okay? For one, like I said, it's way harder when it's a family member. It hits closer to home because that's someone you thought you can trust since you got here. That's someone who probably raised you, someone who you depend on emotionally, financially, anything. So, what are you going to do when you have a family member who is preying on your downfall, a family member who is kind of jealous of you or wants to get between you and your happiness? Just do nothing. Don't say anything to them. Don't tell them your plans. Don't tell them your goals. Don't let them know what you've been manifesting because when they hear that, they're going to debate you or give opinions instead of just supporting you. You know, sometimes we don't need your opinion when it comes to us working towards our goals. Because if you really want to reach that goal, you might not want to hear anyone else's opinion because some people are just not going to be on that same mindset as you. Maybe you might have a dream to be a pop star, and maybe you come from a poor family. Your parents are probably going to tell you it's unrealistic. That's their own opinion, okay? And that's fine. And if you know they're not going to really give you the support that you need, at least mentally, and say, yes, you can do this, we're going to help you, just don't say anything. You work towards that goal on your own, and they will see that. They will see your success once you get there. And I bet you everyone's going to change their mind because that's just how things work sometimes. Not everyone has the same goals, not everyone sees life the same way, and that's okay. Me and my mom don't always see eye to eye. I have certain goals for myself and things that has never been done in my family before. And because it's never been done, it's not as believable to them as it is to me. It's believable to me because I believe in myself and it's my life. But for them, that's not something they've achieved before. They haven't seen anyone close to them achieve that before. So it just seems out of the ordinary. It doesn't seem like it's realistic. Okay, fine. So over time, I started to realize there's certain things that I just should not share. It's not because I feel like you're going to intentionally ruin it for me, but sometimes when someone that close to you, someone who you genuinely care about their opinion, like your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, whoever, it's going to get to you when they tell you, like, I don't know if you can do that. I don't think that's realistic. It gets to you, whether you believe it originally or not. When you hear that, it it's kind of stuck in your head now. It's like you start to second guess yourself. So keep it to yourself. I know it can be hard sometimes. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I suck at keeping my mouth shut sometimes when it comes to certain things. I get too excited. Okay? I get excited. So, what are we going to do about that? Maybe tell a friend who are you are really close with, someone who you know has always supported you. Be careful with that though, cuz not all of your supporters are genuine supporters. Some people just, you know, they like to tell you, "Yay, good for you, girl," and they don't actually mean it. So be careful, but make sure it's someone you trust, you know, or if you don't feel like you can trust anyone with that, girl, make a video. Make a video. Do it in your room. Be like, I am just so excited to start this new journey. You know, I've been training to become a pop star and my voice is getting better and I'm just so excited. That would be nice. Or write it down if you like to write, you know, document it and then look back on it. Um, if you have a therapist too, girl, you could tell your therapist. I know therapy is expensive, like girl, trust me, like I need therapy. I need therapy, but babe, the money, it's the money. But if you go to school too, like I'm sure I if I'm not mistaken, I think all universities have like free therapy, like counseling. So if you just want to go take advantage of that, go and take advantage of that, girl. It's in your tuition, you might as well, like, go to somebody who you can trust, or just talk to yourself on video or writing. If you believe in God, talk to God, the universe, talk to the universe, whoever you believe in, if it's your ancestors, guardian angels, whatever the case may be, like, turn to somebody or something, you know. If you can't go to your own family or friends about it. So that's how you handle that when it comes to like family kind of talking down on you or preying on your downfall or being jealous or like being negative. And like when it's friends, it's a bit different, because especially if you're like this, especially if you're like this, because over time, that shit gets draining. Over time, you start to think, okay, why do I always feel so drained around this person? Why do I always feel like I'm losing my energy after we get done hanging out? And friends like that, they start to rub off on you. Their bad decisions and, you know, their mentality, it starts to rub off on you. Let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a situation where you can feel someone's jealousy? Maybe it's the way that they look at you. Maybe it's the way their tone changed. Maybe it's the way their body language changed. I definitely have. What do you do in that situation? Like there's not much you can do, right? You can't just be like, "Are you jealous of me?" Cuz hello, that's bitchy. It's not humble at all. It's rude. And there's a possibility you can be wrong. But you know what? Always assume that you're right, but just keep it in the back files. Keep it in the back of your head. Don't try to, you know, do too much with it yet until, you know, you're actually given a reason to. Me personally, I just went through like a fallout kind of recently. It is what it is. Shit happens. You win some, you lose some. I'm not hurt about it. I'm not tripping over it. It just is what it is. But, you know, I realize there's something that you need to realize when and how to catch friends who are kind of jealous of you or don't exactly wish the best for you, don't really care about what you're doing that much, is one, when there is an argument or there is an you know, what's the word I'm trying to say? Disagreement. There we go. If there's a disagreement or an argument between you two and they bring up certain things that have nothing to do with the task at hand and they call you certain names that don't have anything to do with the actual problem, that's how you know that's how they were feeling about you already. I have been told quite some things recently, and it really made me laugh because I was told to be humble. And I know myself well enough to know that I'm not humble. When people compliment me, I say thank you. I usually compliment back. And when it comes to people assuming that I have certain things, like especially that, like when people assume I have money, when people assume that my body's perfect, when people assume I don't go through anything, I am never the type of person to be like, yeah, I guess I'm just lucky or blah blah blah. Even if that were true, that's just not something I would say, because to me it's just not humble. And I'm not saying you have to be that way. If you want to flaunt that shit. That's your business. But be kind about it. And that's who I am. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, thanks. I guess it's just genetics. Like, I guess my body's just perfect. Like, no. I want to tell you, babe, it's just angles, because my body isn't perfect. Maybe it's perfect in your eyes, but in mine, I have my own struggles. I've been through my own insecurities, and I'm just glad I'm at the point where I'm not going through it and having a bad relationship with my body, because I used to have a horrible relationship with my body. Just because I'm a petite girl doesn't mean I don't have my own body struggles. And it got to a point where, I feel like I was this close to an eating disorder. So you don't want that. And I'm honest about that. So I know that there's nothing about me that isn't humble. Now, this particular person, when they told me that I need to be humble, and we were in an argument that didn't have anything to do with that, that's when I got confused, because I'm like, what about this situation gives, oh, she's not humble? And that's when I was like, oh, I see. I think I get what this is. Let me give you an example that's outside of my own problem. You're arguing about, I don't know, let's say your friend accidentally dings your car, right? She hits her car with your car a little bit, it causes a dent. And it causes you to get into an argument. It's like, oh, you never pay attention. It's like, you're such an irresponsible driver. You just hit my car. I really want you to give me my money back. And your friend argues back to you, and they're like, it's really like not a big deal. It's just an accident. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you don't need to yell at me like this. You're just so stuck up. You're just, you're a stuck up person. And you always think you're better than everyone. And it's like, whoa, what does that have to do with you dinging my car? Right? When it's shit like that, that's how you know. Like, oh, I'm stuck up. I think I'm better than everyone. You just hit my car. You just hit my car. What does that have to do with anything, right? Like, what about this is giving stuck up? I'm upset because you hit my car. When it's things like that, that's how you know, hey, this is coming from somewhere else. Something about this is telling me this isn't coming from this issue right now. You're saying that because you already felt that. There's something about me that makes you uncomfortable. And I know I'm not stuck up because I'm friends with you. Like, and I'm kind to everyone. I treat everyone the same, regardless of your background. And I know I'm not better than everyone, because I never said I was better than everyone. And I will be friends with pretty much anybody, no matter your background. So where did you get this from? What gave you this idea, this narrative in your head about me? And that's how you know, babe, they're jealous. They're just pulling things out their butt. Like, hmm, what's one thing I hate about this girl? Well, I hate how confident she is. And I hate that she does things on her own without needing anybody's approval. I hate that she's always, reaching towards her goals. And I hate that she just takes care of herself. But I can't say that. So I'm just gonna say she's stuck up. Babe, babe, I'm telling you right now, that's the way that they think. That's the way that jealous people think. You're not going to sit here and get in an argument and then openly admit, you know, whatever, you've always just been so kind to yourself and you've always been so good to yourself and I just hate it. You're not going to say that. So instead, you're just going to say, yeah, you're stuck up and you're a bitch because it's less embarrassing for you. It just is. It's less embarrassing for you. So, what do you do in these situations when you have a friend like that? Babe, just cut them off. And I'm going to tell you right now that quantity is not better than quality. You don't need a lot of friends, and it doesn't matter how long you've been friends. Okay, people change throughout the years, people grow apart. It happens. It doesn't matter if you're friends for 5 years, 10 years, 2 years, 1 year, a month. If they're not here to lift you up and, create a positive energy in your friendship, they're not someone that you would, want to hang out with because every time you leave the function, you feel drained when you're with them. It's not someone you want to be around because, babe, I swear to you, like, the longer you stay around these people, the closer they bring you to hell. Like, seriously. Because these same friends, they will be there for you when you're at your lowest. Like, and not in a way that they should be. They're probably going to convince you to do some shit that they would do when they're at their lowest. And try to justify your wrongdoings when you're going through something. Be like, yeah, like, I get it. I've been there. You should just do it. Like, fuck it, YOLO, right? No. A real one is going to tell you, girl, you need to, they're going to be real with you when you're going through whatever you're going through, when you're going through your breakups, when you're going through your identity crisis, when you lose your job. They're going to tell you, girl, keep your head up. It's okay to be emotional, but maybe it's best that you don't go back to your ex. Maybe it's best that you don't start drinking. Maybe it's best you don't go out and party right now because you're healing. Maybe it's time you just focus on yourself. A real friend will tell you that. They're not going to tell you to do the toxic shit that they would usually do. They just won't. And if they do that, babe, that they're sabotaging you. Even if they don't feel like they're intentionally doing it, they're not doing it like thinking about doing it, they're still doing it. People do shitty things like that unintentionally. They just do. They don't realize that they're kind of dragging you down with them. And some people do realize that and they love that they do it and they're going to keep doing it. So, regardless of the intention or, of doing it or not, it's going to happen. So, you just have to choose, do I want to stay here for this, for them, wait for them to drag me down with them, or do I just want to get the freak out? And I suggest getting the frick out. Like, leave while you still can before you end up pregnant or worse. I don't know what could be worse. I'm just kidding, kind of. But yeah, guys, like, please watch out for these people. They're energy vampires. It doesn't look good, and being around people who are like that, it makes you look bad, and it darkens your aura and it darkens your energy. It's not good for you. I always realize that whenever certain people leave my life who weren't good for me, good things start to happen to me. My life starts to shift immensely. Like when I went through my first big breakup, like real breakup, it was like everything changed. I got a new job. I started making good money. I got a new car. Like my skin was clearing up. Like things started to come into my life more and more. And of course, I was still healing and I was going through it mentally still because it's a breakup. But over time, I was able to get over it while also receiving blessings as I go. So that's just something to consider. Like if you realize your life is better without them, then that's just your sign to keep them out of your life. I don't see why not. I don't see why not. Who cares if you've been friends since preschool or since birth? Like, it doesn't matter, guys, because people's own mothers will betray them. And you've known your mom your whole life. So just be careful because evil is near and they will come to get you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not trying to fear foster you guys, but I hope that this video helped. I hope that you enjoyed it. And I hope that, you know, it was it felt real. I hope it felt authentic. I hope you learned. And if you are a jealous ass biatch, I hope you're listening and I hope you learned something too. Because, babe, that is not cute. We see you, we know you're preying on our downfall. And instead of being jealous and being hateful and preying on our downfall, just look at us as inspiration. And you can be just as good because 9 times out of 10, those jealous girls are just as pretty, just as smart, just as talented. They just don't have the confidence that, the others have. So they have to go and bring that negative energy elsewhere. Babe, get rid of that negative energy. You could be on the top with the rest of us, okay? And we'll always welcome you as long as you leave that bad energy somewhere else. Okay? Okay. Well, I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and follow me on my Instagram at Sage So Healing, Sage SAGE, So Healing, like healing you like I'm a nurse, like I'm a witch, like I'm a doctor. And on there, you can just see my life, see my cool outfits and things like that. So, yeah. All right. Bye.